Welcome, fam. It's good to have you back on another episode of the Dr. Eric K. Coleman Show. Please, if you have not, ma'am, sir, hit the notifications tab for content that is on this platform that you may be able to be up to date at all times. And also, please click like and share, but most of all, subscribe to this channel. We're going to talk about chapter 7 of the book Paradigm, and the subject matter is your perception is not always reality. We're going to be digging into a family or fiance episode where we have a couple here who is bringing their family to the house to figure out if they're going to get their blessing or not. But there is some underlining and some latent things that are brewing that they're not addressing. Thus, their perception of the reality is not accurate. Their perceptions concerning their relationship is not accurate. And again, there are some things that they need to unpack. They need to understand why they think and why they show up that way in the relationship so that they can fully understand is how they engage with one another in the relationship. So let's go ahead and get started.
Hi.
Hello.
Have a seat.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations on your engagement,
Thank
first
you.
and foremost. So you decided to get married.
Yeah.
What kind of wedding are you going to have?
Fabulous. Big, glitz, glam, extra. I have 3 dresses.
Wait, you're going to wear 3 different dresses?
I am. Yes.
Wow. What's the budget for this extravaganza?
I wasn't given a budget. I just tell my dad what I want, and
Does that scare you?
It does. I mean, it's her dream wedding. I never had
But
a
do you
vision
think
of
the
it.
dream stops with the wedding? That's not a dream. That's a lifestyle.
Right. No, it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
The wedding is a reflection of
The
her
expectations.
personality and her expectations.
Yeah. Does it concern you that that's something that he's actually going to have to bear?
no.
Why not?
Like, I'm not saying go buy me Gucci, go buy me Louis Vuitton. Like, I'm not asking for that right now.
Do you feel like you're going to ask for it someday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and stop there, fam. We can see that we're already starting off on a rocky path here. Her level of expectation based off of what her parents currently do for her, or this type of lifestyle that she is accustomed to. She is thinking that that is the reality moving forward in any relationship that she has, which by all means, she has every right to want what it is that she wants. And also, the brother man here, he knew this going into the relationship. So, again, we have to take accountability, we have to take a step back and take responsibility, as in when we decide to move forward in relationships, if there are things that we do not agree with, there are red flags in the beginning or shortly thereafter of deal breakers for us. So when we decide to move along in these relationships, and now that the rubber is meeting the road, now things are getting hot and heavy, things are getting serious. Now we want the other person to change certain things about themselves that in the beginning we either overlooked or we thought that we would be able to accept these things. So those are some things that we have to think about. So let's continue to see what's going to transpire here.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. And
Yes.
do you have that now? Do you buy like designer stuff?
I do, but my parents mostly buy it for me.
How independent from your parents would you say are you?
I don't ask them for money. Anything I get is because they're like, I'm just going to give it to you, and I'm going to do it for you.
Okay, you have a 30-plus-year-old woman here. Honestly, right off the bat, you couldn't even answer the question as do you depend on your parents that much? What is your level of dependency on your parents? More namely, let's go ahead and call it what it is, the dependency upon her father. Again, she very well may be a daddy's girl. That's daddy's baby, rightfully so. But it's not doing any justice, or it's doing a disservice to any man or potential candidate that would be coming alongside her and taking her as his bride, to whereas he will have to be able to meet the standard as to what the father is currently providing for the daughter. And just to unpack that a little bit more, I'm pretty sure these are probably late 20, early 30 couple here. Mama and daddy could very well be in the 50s, early, late 50s, and they have been around a lot longer. They are more established probably from a professional and a financial perspective. It is an unrealistic expectation as far as her perception pertaining the reality right now that he is going to be able to come in and provide for her at the same level as she expects her father. And let me clarify, provision versus desires. With the brand names, the designer bags. There's a difference between the level of providing a home, utilities, food, shelter, all those sorts of things, emotional support, that I do not believe that this gentleman right here is getting a fair shot in that regard. Let's continue.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because they do everything for her.
It's very
You ever feel
clear
like their influence is
he
greater than
does
yours?
not feel up to the
Definitely, I'll say
standard.
that. She talked to her mama more than she talked to me.
I mean, I call my mom for everything. Like, that's my best friend. That's like a sister.
Stop there. That is your mother. Very well, you could be friendly. She could show herself friendly towards you. But right there, we have a totally distorted relationship right now, to where you have deemed your mother to be a sister. Clearly, some boundaries are passed here. I have a wonderful relationship with my mother, but never in a million years will I look at her and say she is my sister. No, there's a boundary. She is my mother. She will show herself friendly towards me. Do I consider us friends? Yes, we are friends to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, she is my mother, and clearly boundaries are being crossed here.
And I can see how it may feel to him that he's supposed to be that.
What is that like for you?
I want her to be able to, talk to me like I'm resourceful. I want to be needed,
How's that land on you?
Oh, I don't know. That was kind of tough.
Yeah, if a man does not feel needed in a relationship, why is he there? Let's put it out on the table. Let's put all our cards on the table. From a man's perspective, a man's point of view, if I am not needed in this relationship, why am I here?
I'm just very emotional.
Yeah, say what you need to say.
I said, I'm not going to do this.
You can do whatever happens.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have your parents fully in your life taking care of you and expect a man to do the same thing at the same level. It's just totally unfair. You're trying to double dip here.
Like, I don't need him.
Right.
Like, I need my parents, but I need him, and I guess I don't know how to separate the two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she acknowledged
I'm
that.
gonna venture that there's a vulnerability in wanting and needing him that isn't there with your parents, because your parents, they're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to him, you don't actually know if he's going to be able to meet your need or not. Let's talk about who's coming. Lacey, who's coming from your side?
My mom, Danielle, is coming. My dad, Orlando, is coming. And my best friend, Sarah, is coming.
I hope he does not be defensive. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, we can always have a party. Instead of a wedding.
So my mom...
negativity right off the bat. That's why we were talking a while back in another episode as to you have to be very careful who you let into your relationships. We were talking about the subject of influences, examples, models, and clearly in the 5 second introduction here of the parents, it does not look as if they are positive influences in their daughter's relationship right now. Again, I could be very wrong. However, the mother's statement was, I hope he's not defensive. And the father is in agreement, and they're already looking at alternatives pertaining to the conclusion of this weekend of finding out if they will give their blessing or not pertaining to their upcoming nuptials.
Basically, her reservations are, can he step up to the plate and be the man she would love for me to have? My dad's the same, and he wants to make sure that my daughter is well taken care of.
And the doll.
So for me, who is coming? My mother, Marilyn, my father, Larry, and my fraternity brother, one of my groomsmen, Justin, is coming. I think it's gonna be pretty relaxed. We're friendly folks. Yeah. My mother, she wants to know if she's going to adapt well leaving the nest with her parents. My father, he wants to see the real.
So that begs the question right now, is she still living with her parents? We'll find that out.
Her. And for Justin, he wants to make sure that I'm not rushing into anything.
The families are on their way. First family meeting, one, they're going to tell you what their concerns are.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's going to be tasks. Lacey, your task is called reality check. Vidal's family is going to write down questions, put them in a box, and you're going to take them out of the box and answer them. Your challenge is to be vulnerable. Vidal, your task is called 5-year plan.
Okay.
And you're going to say what your goals are, and you're going to put them under each year that you plan to achieve that goal. It's really about inspiring that confidence in them. And I think when they trust you more, maybe Lacey will trust you more too. All right, let's do it.
Oh, this is nice. Pretty.
13. Someone's here.
Yeah.
I bet it's one.
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? What's going on?
Vidal is not someone I had imagined her being with the rest of her life. When she first brought him home, I was like, are you serious? See what I told you, Mrs. Cox. Your last name is not Cox.
Yes.
We don't know that. Yes. We're hoping it's not. She's only 24.
Wow. Again, this is reiterating the level of disdain that the mother has for this young man. She's saying that she's only 24 years old. Okay, I get it. I understand that. You know, you're concerned about how young she is. If she is apt, does she have the ability to go into this relationship, into a commitment of this magnitude as far as marriage? However, if she is mimicking her choices after the relationship between her father and her mother, then you would think that she is feeling a bit more content with her decision as far as wanting to continue that model of being in a relationship, of being committed in a marriage. But it's just something off putting here concerning the mother's demeanor and her perception about this young man without even getting to know him, especially when she says when she first brought him home to meet the family and they didn't even have a conversation yet, just her immediate judgment and perception of him just by looking at him was completely negative. So let's continue out the last minute of this clip.
Like, can she wait till she's 30? Or maybe even 35? 40? Yeah, maybe even 40.
Here we go. It's a beautiful house.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
But that's another part of it. You want this girl to wait till she's 30, 35, 40. But I'm pretty sure the conversation has come up about they want some grandbabies. Interesting.
Gorgeous.
You're breaking up, I can't hear you. My folks.
Said they made themselves at home already.
Really?
Yeah.
My first impression of Lacey was, I mean, she likes to find things in life. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Don is not going to be able to provide that at the beginning.
Dad, I'm finished giving y'all a tour.
All
right. Mom nailed that one. And that is exactly what we were talking about in the beginning as far as the reality check here. They're just starting out. They're in their early 20s here. So I stand corrected. In the beginning, I'm saying that they were in their, late 20s, early 30s. They're in their early 20s, about 2 years out of college. And the level of expectation she has based off of what her parents have instilled in her and based off of what her parents desire for her, it's clear we can see the disdain that they have because they see that this gentleman is not able to provide that, which rightfully so, if we're now aligning with their desire for her to be married at the age of 30, 35, then she will be able to find a suitable bachelor that will potentially have that level of income. But men, we usually don't hit our stride until 40, 45 years old when we talk about the level of income. So again, the perception here is totally distorted and misplaced and far from what the reality is of two young people coming together, wanting to join in a union of marriage, and this level of expectation that this young lady has been brainwashed with, or this desire she does not want to leave or relinquish this lifestyle that she has been so accustomed to, is totally far-fetched. Her perception is totally not reality. And I just hope by the end of this meeting that they will come to a common ground or to some clarity as to feasible next steps that they will take to make sure that this will be amicable on both sides.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting couple of days.
Yes. I'm ready to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Has he got on your nerves yet?
Not yet.
Wow, see, you see what I'm talking about here, fam? That the level of negativity is just uncanny here. So we're actually going to continue this conversation on our next episode of the Dr. Eric K. Coleman Show in regards to dealing with Chapter 7 of Your Perception is Not Always Reality. So when we finally understand and do the homework on ourselves and take a self-respective look, or take a retrospective look as we unpack our backpacks to figure out what are our emotions, our desires, our what we want out of life. And then we start to do the work to figure out how do we show up in our relationships and how do we engage. When we do that, we can then better present ourselves in relationships, in our families, in our society, in our communities, in our nation, globally, and universal. And so until next time, continue to think different about relationships.